Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here and stopping by for the Junk Journal Out with a Bang collaboration, thank you for stopping by and welcome. I hope that you enjoy the video and that you'll stay. And if you've been here before, thanks for coming back. So, my video today, I'm part of the collaboration for the Out with a Bang collaboration hosted by Sunflowers Indoors and Julie at Julie's Papercraft. This is a list of the participants. I will make sure to put a list in the description box down below the video as well, so you can see who's participating and what days they're participating. So I'm Beyond Brass. My name is Linda. So it must be the 15th. I am filming in advance because it's expected to be very, 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 very hot on the 15th. So my idea, I noticed that somebody else has actually done something almost exactly the same, or part of what I had in mind. So my prompt for today is Summer Secret. And when I was thinking of summer secrets, I was thinking there's two kinds of summer secrets. One is the best swimming hole, which you don't want to tell anybody because you don't want anybody to go, but it doesn't fit with either of the kits. The kits are Faded Impressions, and then there's the shabby something. I'll make sure to put a link below. And I want to use the Faded Impressions kit because it really spoke to me. I like that kind of grungy, vintagey look. But where I started from is I got this box the other day at the thrift store. And I thought they were just little envelopes, and kind of cute little envelopes. But it turns out it's some kind of like a marriage enrichment thing with wording inside of it. And then you'd need to cover it and stuff like that. And I also thought it would not be fair to use something like this that you don't have access to. So what I thought I would do is show you how I created this, which is basically the same thing. So what I did is I printed double-sided two of the journal pages, so they're different ones, back to back, and I printed the image on a piece of paper and I printed it full size. So when you go to print, if you don't print it full size, what you'll get is a little white border, especially if you're in the US and Canada. You'll get a little white border top and bottom, and you can leave that on, but it will make the folds a little bit smaller. And I wanted to have the maximum amount possible for a pocket. This is just under 2 inches, because I can't print borderless with a Brother printer. If you can print borderless, you will wind up with your pockets top and bottom being 2 inches. If you don't print fit to page, you will wind up with your pockets being about 1.5 inches, maybe a little bit, tiny bit bigger than 1.5 inches when you're done. I'm trying to leave my envelope part, or the inner part of what would be where the secret is, to be 4.5 inches. So without further ado, I'm going to grab my scoreboard. I have a Bira that is tall and narrow, so it's not as wide as a standard scoreboard. It's not 12 inches wide, so you can't score on one side and then on the other side. From this side you have to turn it over as you go, which doesn't bother me. So your first score on the long sides is going to be at 2 inches on both top and bottom. So you can score top and then turn it over and score top. Don't cut the white little border bit off until after you have scored. Should probably have told you that to begin with. That would have made, especially if you're trying to follow along and you've like trimmed off your little white bits and you're like, why didn't she say that? So don't trim the white bits off until after, partly because with, you're going to trim some of this and it's just extra cutting you don't need to do. So then you're going to trim the short sides at 3 1/4 inches. Both of them. So 3 1/4 and 3 1/4. I don't think I finished saying what the second summer secret was. So the first one would be a swimming hole. And that's not what we're doing. We're not going to do a swimming hole because it doesn't match the Faded Impressions kit. The second one would be like a summer romance, or maybe not a love affair, but those little summer, I guess, romance, a fling. One of those things. So what I want to do is create a little envelope where perhaps he is keeping all his letters from his summer sweetheart, with an image of his summer sweetheart. So that'll be part of what we make. Sometimes I really suck at folding. Just saying. I always think I'd do it backwards. And it's up to you which way you fold, which is the inside and which is the outside. Totally up to you. I did not fold that straight. Also, if you feel like you fold better without scoring, don't score. So now what we're going to do is we're going to trim out these little rectangles. It's a little bit tricky to see because of the color of the paper. And I'm going to do this off camera so you don't have to watch me faff about cutting out the corners. Now that we have cut the corners out, you can trim the white edges off your paper. You can also trim these at a slight angle so that they don't bind with your, when you fold it in. So you're going to fold it like so, and then like so, and like so, and you can see that it bunches. So let's trim off these at a slight angle. Like so. And you can just do it with an X-Acto knife. And you can see that now lays flat. And you can also see that this is not quite even. So this is something that you could even up. I'm going to take these white bits off. I also should have told you to keep these. They're in your garbage can, you can take them out. And then trim the white bits off. If you can trim. See, that's what takes forever. Picking up your little pieces of paper to throw them in the garbage. So you have two little, like, arms here, and you could put little pockets on them. In fact, you want to put little pockets on them because there's stuff that's going to go inside the pockets. And you can do it so that your pocket kind of blends in, like here to here. I would not use the head of the bird. I would also, I think I'm going to put something over top of here. Like perhaps like that and like that. So that you can't tell that there's a bird head. Just kind of, poor bird. That would not be there if I used a different piece of paper on the inside. But I liked this blue one. You can also put a pocket on this little flap. And these are the right size that they'll go on there. But they're going to be shorter than the width of your flap. Which is fine. There's also a little baby pocket in the kit. So there's a little pocket. So you could use that. So you could put something like that on there, which is really tiny, but kind of cute. Or you could put like something like that on there. And I think I am going to put that one on there. And even that up a little because I can't cut straight. And it does need to come a little bit shorter, but I think what I will do is glue it on and then trim it. Make sure if you're putting a pocket in here that you get it just a little bit inside of that fold line so that it does not bunch when you fold that front in and out. Trim that off. So you could put just one pocket. You could put pockets on all of them. All right, so that is basically that section. But of course we're not done, because we need our girl and love letters and a secret crush or romance or, you know, thing. So the next part, what I did is I printed from the kit. There are these beautiful images of girls. So I printed 2. Let's get a piece of paper so you can see what they look like. So I printed these, which will work. But I actually prefer these because they look like cabinet cards, and I'm going to use her. I also really like the fact that it gives me a transparent pocket. So this is too big to use, but I would really like to. So I'm going to cut this out. What you'll need for this next section is you'll need overhead transparency that will work in your printer. You will need a coffee container of some kind or other. The reason I say a coffee container, shield your eyes please, is it has the shiny silver on the inside, and we're going to create a faux daguerreotype. So I tried to use the top of the can, but the piece isn't big enough. I now have coffee all over my desk, and my desk smells lovely. But this piece is slightly too small because I wrecked it taking it off. Also, it's got the little breathing hole thing. If you're using the metal, again, sorry for the glare, it is shiny on one side and matte on the other. You could use either side, both will work. You will need either alcohol ink or alcohol markers. Either one will work, and either one will work really well. If you're using alcohol markers, try to go with a color that's similar to like the butterscotch, or, oh no, that's red pepper. I don't want that one. I just got this one like a couple weekends ago at Sienna, so I think I might try that one. And then if you're using an alcohol marker, you probably want a little bit of raw alcohol, and you can buy that at the dollar store. You don't have to go, you don't have to buy anything expensive. So what I want to do to begin with is kind of trim this down a bit. Again, sorry for the glare. The other thing that you're going to want are some dried flowers. This is pressed, I think it might be baby's breath, some white thing that grows in my yard, like a weed, but it's pretty. So these are not pressed, so I probably won't use those. Yeah, probably won't use those. Might use, I don't know, those are kind of nice. We'll see. At this point in time, my inclination is only to use the baby's breath thing. Okay, let's try this again. I cut this closer to the size it should be when it's done. Let's just put a couple of drops of the butterscotch. And only the butterscotch. I don't think I'm going to use that raw sienna. That's too red. And then okay, apparently I traded lids on these, and hopefully that doesn't make a difference. Tiny little squirt at this corner. And then those are the funniest looking little flowers. So I got these on Amazon. So hopefully I don't like the smell of them. So it's a really bad baby's breath. All right. Now what I want to do is adhere this to the tin foil. But it does need something on the back of it, because he's not going to keep like hot pink anything. So thankfully I haven't put away any of my book pages. Oh, and let's use I got this at a thrift store, and whoever had this book before made notes all over everywhere in the margins. So let's use this as the right side and make it look like he wrote a note about his one true love. I'm out of Yoo-hoo, so I'm using Elmer's Extreme glue stick, and I actually think I prefer it to Oohoo. It seems to work very nicely. Put that on there like so. And like so. Give that a little bit of a burnish. I'm just going to trim around, and I'll even that up. What you could do, and I might a little bit later, but for expediency, I won't. You could put like the equivalent of a frame around it, the same as those other images that had like a little line around it. But that would be like doing two videos, and I'm, you know, trying to only do one. So, get my little thing back. So she would go in one of the pockets like so. She'd go right way around. Oh, did I really? No, no I didn't. It was like, oh no, I put her upside down, but I didn't. Put her in there upside down. And then you can stuff the pockets with all kinds of stuff. Like, there's little journal cards in the kit, so they can go in here. There's little tags in the kit. There's more journal cards. And then let's put on the outside, let's take this stuff out, and it's a bit big. Let's use her, and have so much cheesecloth. So cheesecloth, or oh, I have this, which is kind of blue. Oh yeah. Oh, I really like that. And because it's the front, that might work. The whole idea would be to try to put it inside a journal though, like a pocket in a journal, and that's too much depth. So let's try to take that apart. So I pulled a piece of it off. And then I have really gauzy cheesecloth. I have a bit heavier cheesecloth, and I have some lace. Let's put, those are the worst scissors. So I don't need that much. Like so. Start with this. This is the part that always takes me the longest. I can do like a kind of a make, but as soon as I try to decorate it, I'm like, takes me forever. I did back this because I was thinking of putting it in one of the pockets, but I think this works really well as kind of like a cover image for this. Put her on there like so. And then just going to put a line like so. This is going to be really difficult to get to stay flat because it's curled. It was a rose to begin with. Okay, much faffing about later. It's kind of stuck, sort of. Just don't breathe on it or anything. It'll pop right off. Oh, that's the other thing that I did, is I cut out some of these, like, almost like letters. That would be really cool. If we try to put that on right way up. Like so. Be a little higher so that we get a little of that color coming underneath, like so. It'd be really neat. Yeah. And of course that would fall right off because it's a dried flower and it's fragile. So let's faff about for like half an hour trying to get the tape off the, oh, it always shocks me when the tape comes off the backing like that. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on it so it adheres better. It will dry clear, so I'm not that worried about it. Hopefully that doesn't look too weird. And then the other thing I need to do is cover that. So I cleaned up my desk a little because it was like, oh my gosh, I can't find anything. So I completely forget I have stamps now. I haven't soaked those off, so we can't use those. I want something kind of plain. Let's switch that so you can see what I'm doing. Those would be really good. Oh well. So I found a green stamp, which I actually really like. So I also found this blue label, which I made by stamping on the leftovers of a digital. I do that quite frequently. Yeah, I think like that. And then you should be really glad that I cut out all the bits where my arm goes in your way. Because I'm like, nobody needs to see that. I only inked around this one because I cut it with a pair of scissors and cut it very badly. So let's put that at an angle. You will discover stamps all over my desk. I have a tendency to put things quite frequently at an angle. I think it gives a bit of added interest. Like so. Labels, however, I try to always put my labels straight to whatever it is that I'm doing. The reason I picked this stamp is it's got a little floral image on it, and I like that. I think it kind of fits with everything else in this kit, which is absolutely completely and utterly gorgeous. I will put a link down below to all the information on it. First of all, let me clean off my desk so you can actually see what we did. Okay, so a little, I don't know, folio. One more thing I was gonna do. Yes, because he's got love letters, he should have like letters in there. And I don't have much. I got these at a flea market. This is not at all a love letter. In reference to your advertisement in the Edmonton Journal dated, yeah, not a love letter, but we're gonna pretend it is because that's what I have. I do have like Simpsons Budget Club, also not a love letter. And I have this, which is in German. It's in German. Lieber something or other. But that's too big, like way too big to go in there. It's absolutely divine. But in the meantime, let's put this little love letter. If you don't have a love letter, like I don't have a love letter, you could take some of your very own journaling. Where'd I put her? Oh my gosh. So, his girl, his letter to his girl, which does not fit in there, so maybe it goes in there. So, little folio, like so. And then you open it up, and then there's his secret summer crush, I guess. Little letter to her. Little pockets you could put all your tags and journal card, which also has a little writing on it, maybe him to her. Another little tag could go in here, like so. These are too big to go in there. The bingo one might, like you could put that in there like so. This one won't fit because I don't think it'll shut. No. And then put that behind her. And I think that's the only other one that I backed. So a little tiny folio for your summer crush, your summer secret. Boom, like so. So if you are here for the Out with a Bang, thanks for stopping by. I hope you come back. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It will really help my tiny little channel grow. And until next time, have a lovely crafty day. Bye.